I'm trying to put a time frame into it. I've been in this house for almost 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was over on First Street, and I was on First Street where I was approached by the German people to do Maya the Bee.
Which I was going to get to after Playboy, but since you're on Maya the Bee, how did that come about?
Well, it was one of those things where the producer wanted, he had seen the Pink Panther, and he had copied, not being familiar with who was involved, he had copied down the list of the credits. And he had gone to John Dunn, and he had gone to Tee, and he had gone to somebody else, and none of them were interested in doing this thing for him, which was a Bonsell's story about Maya the Bee. And so Al, I can't remember his name. I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, this guy from Disney recommended me, and so the German fellow called me, said, "Would you be interested in doing some characters and some stuff for a German show about Maya the Bee?" Well, I said, well, in those days, I was, if you do you want to jump into a sewer, we'll pay you. I'd say, okay, you know, anything. I was open to all kinds of things. So we had a meeting at the Sportsman's Lodge, and with 5 or 6 German fellows about this story, which was Maya the Bee, which is a story that the German children are. It's force-fed them in their lower classes, grade school, I guess, and they all know about it. But it was a 1918 like story, and the bee and the wasps, they're all killing each other, and the grasshoppers, and they're eating. So it was the kind of thing that I thought, oh Jesus, I don't know what I can do with it, but I will say I'll give it a try. So we did. A friend of mine, Jack Bonistel, who was a cartoonist that we worked together at Peterson's Cartoon Empire, and the German said, "Now, Marty, I know you cannot do this by yourself, so you have to get somebody to help you." Well, I could do them by myself, but I wanted him. Jack was always good for turning in stuff. If you asked him to do something, you knew that he would never let you down. He'd always have something for you. So we met with the German lady, and he tried to hit on her. She was a good-looking German lady, and I'm saying, Jesus, Jack, don't ruin this for us. And so anyway, we had. I did a little storyboard for this thing, and tried to work it into a kind of a cartoony thing. I added a Willy, somebody that she could play off, so that she wouldn't have to be walking around talking to herself all the time. And anyway, much to my surprise, it went over. The Germans loved it. So for the next 12 years, I worked on shows for the German, the ZDF, and also for Playboy, and also for anything else that I could be doing.
So you were very busy.
Well, I was busy like I don't know. The thing about the Maya the Bee, which was nice, was I could go out in the garden and be thinking of Maya the Bee. I could be down at a bar someplace and putting down ideas about Maya the Bee. It was something that was constant.
Yeah, yes,
constant.
Absolutely.
And then I would sit down and try to do Playboy stuff like once a week or something. But it was not a bad time.
You had a real discipline. In other words, everything had its own.
Surprisingly, yes.
No, yeah. No, that doesn't surprise me at all. Tell me about your association with Joe Barbera and Hanna-Barbera.
Well,
how'd that come about?
I had done a lot of things with Iwo Takamoto and Joe Barbera over the years. I never worked under the roof, but they would call me in for characters design and little odds and ends. So they had the show they were going to call Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. And so Joe Barbera asked me to come in and do some designs for that. And I did, and they sold the show. And so after I was working at the Patty Freeling full time on I think and Barclays and some other things. And then about 4 o'clock I'd go home, and I'd stop at Hanna-Barbera on Fridays and pick up a script for the Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, and I would do the characters and incidental characters and a couple of backgrounds. And I wasn't making a whole lot of money. I mean, but it was one of those things. I was working for the Patty Freeling, I was working for H&B, and then I'd do a little Playboy, and so I was doing better than I could imagine, and loving it. You know,
Absolutely. I was going to say you had to be loving that.
Yeah, I was working around the clock when I could, and so that Bubba over there, Margot.
Scary.
Oh. But anyway, and then I did a little lecturing at their when they had not a school, but they would have a class, and
animation class 4 days a week, and I would lecture to one of the classes, and Gerard Baldwin would lecture to somebody else, and that was kind of fun. I'd never done that before, and that was that was interesting and really fulfilling. And I see a lot of those people still in the business, which is that's got to be very
nice.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
That feeling
Yeah.
too. Yes, to have an impact on so many people and to see that they're still working.
Yeah.
So if you could say something about your life and as an artist, how would you sum it up?
Well, a lot of hard work, a lot of fun work, and it still goes on. You know, I still enjoy it, and I maybe I don't have the drive that I had when I was younger, but I think I would if there were. The business has changed so much. When I was working basically around the clock, so was the animation business, and it wasn't it was driven by the creative rather than the corporate. I think I always think about that, and so it was certainly fun, and it still remains fun, but a little less fun than it used to be.
Well, I will say that Joe Barbera has said it to me, and I'll agree with him that you are a genius.
Oh, no.
And I want to thank you so much for your time and for sharing your life story with us. And I hope we can do this again.
Carl, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gary.
What's that big envelope there?
Oh, yeah, what's in that envelope?
Oh.
Did you that we had to stop taping before? What's in there?
Well, listen. Usually means a little return.
Is it a T-shirt?
This is, two drawings from Playboy.
So you send in the originals and they send them back to you?
I don't know, is this have you rated this X-rated yet?
This is the one that just appeared, and that one was last month.
Well, I gotta say, you are an amazing talent, Marty, and I genuinely do appreciate you spending your time talking to us.
Carl, it's my pleasure.